The defense for one of 10 suspects in a Lawrence County murder case says they need a jury from outside the area. I'm Chris Warner. We'll tell you why.
Joplin's first medical marijuana facility is open for business. How 2 Oklahoma laws will affect education funding.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The defense attorneys for a Lawrence County murder suspect want an outside jury for the trial. This is a late edition of KOAM News at 10. KOAM's Chris Warner was in court today and he has more.
Monday's hearing was for a change of venue, more specifically, a change of jurors. Now, back in August of last year, Sarah Pasco of Aurora was shot and killed, and another woman shot and injured in Lawrence County. Authorities have ultimately charged 10 people in the case. 5 are charged with capital murder, 4 are charged with first-degree murder, and another is charged with hindering prosecution of a felony. Monday, a change of venue hearing was held at the Jasper County Courthouse in Joplin for one of those defendants, Gary Hunter Jr., who could be facing the death penalty. The defense pushed a case for a jury to be selected from Jackson County, Missouri, stating that the local jury pool has been contaminated by media coverage of the case from Joplin and Springfield. The prosecution says it disagrees.
I think it's unnecessary. That's not the rule. That's not the theory. This is a death penalty case, so I understand what the judge has to consider. We got to make sure the trial is fair for the defendant, and when we're asking for this serious of a consequence, we need to make sure we are protecting those rights, but I do think that it's an unnecessary expense to travel up there for a week and then bring them back down.
From here, the judge will consider the evidence and make a determination on whether the local jury pool is contaminated based on media coverage of the case. That will be taken up at the pretrial hearing scheduled for May 12th. Reporting in Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
The attorney for the defense, Thomas Jacquino, left the courthouse before we could ask him for an interview. Joplin police identified the victim of Friday's crash on South Range Line. They say that victim is 31-year-old Lionel Carr from Joplin. Authorities say Carr was riding a motorcycle that was involved in a crash with another vehicle on the 2800 block of Range Line. The driver of the other vehicle was taken to the hospital where she remains. The last report, she was listed in critical condition. Checking in with Nick Kelly now. The work week started up where the weekend left off. That was with beautiful weather.
Absolutely, and a warm Easter Sunday too. We just kept with the warmth again today, Dow. After we started chilly at 54, we hit a high of 77, 10 degrees above our normal high of 67 for this April 5th of 2021. All day long, all evening long, we dealt with quiet skies, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies in a few spots, but more cloud covers on the way in. All of it ahead of our next cold front, ready to shake things up as we head toward tomorrow night and into Wednesday especially. In the meantime, we're mainly ahead of the front again tomorrow, so for most of the day, we're going to keep things quiet. Overnight, lows will drop back near 60, but that south wind still in place. Despite partly sunny skies again, we'll see highs pushing near 76. Now, I'm not going to rule out a random storm chance in the afternoon, Dow, but I think our better chances come tomorrow night and through the middle of the week. We'll break down this next storm system and what it'll do for us here in just a bit.
All right, Nick, we'll see you soon. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signs into law a bill that'll change the way state funds school districts. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with Miami Public Schools on how this could affect area students and staff.
In Oklahoma, the funding formula for public schools is based on enrollment in a weighted average daily membership, or ADM. Each student is assigned a weight by grade level and other factors. Schools have a weighted ADM for the district and are allocated money based on this. They go off records from the current year as well as the 2 previous years and would be funded off of the highest ADM from that time frame.
It does encompass 3 school years when they look at that, and so it gives districts some flexibility in time if they are a declining enrollment.
But Oklahoma's governor just signed a bill into law that would alter the way the state funds districts, basing it off of just the previous year. Because enrollment declines in rural areas more than others, this bill would no longer allow smaller Oklahoma communities like Miami the flexibility and time to adjust to these enrollment changes.
This legislation will not go into effect until fiscal year 23, which is a 2022 and 23 school year, and so we're working on a long-term budget plan to try to address that, but there's no denying that it's our students are going to feel it.
This bill will not only make it harder for school districts to plan and budget, but will also affect the tools teachers use to educate. Christie Hammonds is a math teacher at Nichols Upper Elementary School and uses hands-on methods to get students to grasp onto concepts better. But if she were to lose some of these hands-on methods due to funding cuts, her students could suffer.
I teach math, and I am a very hands-on math teacher, and I have lots of manipulatives and hands-on things that we do. And some of those are used year to year. Other things are consumable and have to be purchased again. And so if I don't have those supplies, then that cuts out on the hands-on things that I'm able to do.
Meaning students could lose precious learning experiences. In Miami, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The governor also signed another education bill into law which will allow students to transfer between school districts at any time of the year. The Arkansas governor has vetoed legislation that would have prohibited any person under age 18 in Arkansas from getting treatment involving gender reassignment surgery or medication. Governor Asa Hutchinson called the legislation vast government overreach by the state legislature. The bill, which cleared the state Senate and House with strong majorities, now heads back to the General Assembly, where a simple majority vote could override the governor's veto. Joplin's first medical cannabis dispensary officially opens. Missouri-made marijuana in Joplin is now open. The dispensary currently has flower, pre-rolled joints, vape cartridges, and edibles. But they plan to add their own product line soon, so the product supply will keep up with demand. The newly opened dispensary is another option for patients.
It was really cool. I'm glad that there's one in Joplin because, you know, driving to Neosho or Oklahoma can be pretty rough on gas and stuff like that. So it's nice to have one that's close.
I'm super excited. I'm just excited for patients to come in and be able to get what they need.
The dispensary is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Joplin City Council met today and announced the Joplin Senior Center will reopen in a limited capacity, but if there's a spike in COVID cases, it will close again. City also approved the first reading of an ordinance to amend the police department's budget to buy new equipment, including another evidence storage unit. Still ahead, COVID-19 cases are creeping up across the country, and the spread of variants has experts warning about a fourth wave. And a new study shows the impact that COVID-19 had on the yearly death rate. Friday, the city of Joplin plans to host a vaccine clinic at the health department. That's also the day the state of Missouri will open vaccinations to all adults in the state. You do have to register for this COVID-19 vaccination event. You can find out how to do that in this story on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Nearly 23% more Americans died from March of 2020 through January of 2021 than expected. That's according to a new study in JAMA. Researchers say about 3/4 of the excess deaths were due to COVID infection. The rest, they say, reflect last year's surge in heart disease and Alzheimer's disease and delayed care for other health issues. They also suspect some COVID infections went undocumented. Researchers say nearly 40,000 children under 18 years old have lost a parent to the disease. That number does not include non-parental caregivers. The data is based on statistical modeling and not a survey or administrative data. It also shows Black children have been disproportionately affected. They make up 14% of children in the U.S., but 20% of those who have lost a parent to COVID. The report was published in the JAMA Pediatrics Medical Journal. Less than 20% of Americans are fully vaccinated, and some parts of the U.S. are seeing concerning increases of COVID-19 cases. And now experts are raising the alarm about a virus variant that appears to be infecting school-aged children and younger adults. Reporter Marie Maloney has a closer look.
The highly contagious B.1.1.7 variant fueling an alarming rise in COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations in Europe. And experts fear the U.S. could be next if we don't double down on safety measures.
What we know from the past year of the pandemic is that we tend to trend about 3 to 4 weeks behind Europe.
In Minnesota, more than 740 schools have had cases of the variant first identified in the UK. In Michigan, more and more young people are being hospitalized as cases rise. And in Florida last month, Orange County officials reporting a rise in COVID-19 cases in the 18 to 25 age group.
What we're seeing is pockets of infection around the country, particularly in younger people who haven't been vaccinated and also in school-age children.
While that age group is relatively well protected, experts say younger groups are still vulnerable as the B117 variant circulates. Experts say the variant is more contagious and may cause more severe illness. And research suggests it may also be more deadly.
It's acting differently from anything we've seen before in terms of transmissibility, in terms of affecting young people. So we have to take this very seriously.
The good news, experts say current vaccines seem to be working well against this variant. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
The CDC says the U.S. reported a record over the weekend with more than 4 million COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in 24 hours. But despite the vaccination numbers, experts say not enough people are protected yet, and the country might be in the start of another surge. The newest Centers for Disease Control and Prevention weekly morbidity and mortality report shows how far COVID-19 can spread from a single event. According to the report, a bar opening in rural Illinois was linked to 46 known COVID-19 cases. Those cases resulted in the shutdown of a school, impacting 650 children, and the hospitalization of a long-term care facility resident. At least 17 of the confirmed cases were among people who were not at the bar. The 7-day average of COVID-19 cases in the county more than doubled to 86 cases per 100,000 people 2 weeks after the event. People at the bar say attendees did not all wear masks or distance from each other. The CDC believes the actual number of cases linked to the event is even higher than reported. The CDC is out with new guidance for cruise liners. This as more people look at traveling again. The industry has been operating under a conditional sail order, and cruise lines have been hoping for information on when they can sail again. The CDC says its next conditional sail order will allow cruise liners to conduct simulated voyages with volunteers and crew before sailing with passengers again. It also calls for an increase in COVID-19 testing and the need for a plan to vaccinate crew staff. The health agency has still not given a date for cruises fully resuming operations from U.S. ports. Nick Kelly is up next with his complete forecast. And later, the Webb City Cardinals aim for their 10th win of the season against McDonald County. Jacob Leonard has the highlights in sports.
We started the new work week and school week out just like we wrapped up this weekend. Nice weather, even with partly sunny skies back in place over Indigo Sky just outside of Seneca, Missouri. This same look was found all across the area today, but despite the clouds, we still had a good south wind in place throughout the course of the day, and that did help us out with temperatures. We started everybody in the mid-50s this morning. Look at what we topped out this afternoon. 77 in Joplin and at the airport. Many of us in the mid to upper 70s, not too far from a few 80-degree spots across parts of the area, especially in our far western counties. It's only this evening that we're finally starting to see more people drop into the upper 60s, and that's pretty much where we're going to stay throughout the course of the night, in the 60s. I think the coolest will go, though, especially around Joplin, is around 60 degrees by the time we hit sunrise in the morning, and then we'll be back in the mid-70s again for mainly a quiet Tuesday while we keep an eye on our next storm system ready to roll on in. Let me show you where it is as we broaden the view out. No immediate storm systems in our area for today, even though we're seeing more cloud cover work out of western Kansas and western Oklahoma. Nothing underneath those clouds will we stay quiet for tonight. But look at our frontal system parked to the north. It's covering quite a bit of real estate with this one front near the nation's capital, up into the upper Midwest, and then this trailing back into the western U.S. It's going to be this warm front in Wyoming and this cold front, especially this cold front out west. That's the one that's going to bring in better chances for rain and storms tomorrow night, going through the middle of the week as our main upper low decides to finally work out of Idaho and push that front along. In the meantime, though, let's time everything out with the future track, starting with our quiet night and quiet Tuesday to get things started. Again, everyone holding right around 60. A few outlying areas could be in the upper 50s, but a quiet start to the day. Even though we're ahead of that main front tomorrow as it starts to work into western Kansas, more moisture is going to be pulled in as that southerly wind kicks back into action. And I would not be surprised if the radar tries to pick up a stray shower or a storm popping up. But I think most of us will be dry tomorrow because upstairs there's enough warm air to suppress any moisture. So that's why I'm keeping us quiet for much of the day. 60 in the morning, 71 by noon. Afternoon highs right around 76. And again, the winds, they'll be back up there with gusts even again back near 30 miles per hour. We're quiet to start Tuesday evening out. Then here's 10 o'clock, the future track wanting to show thunderstorms ahead of the cold front. And if they start out like this cluster between Salina, Wichita, and Topeka, that could clip our northern counties and expand in coverage as we go through the overnight and into Wednesday morning. If this scenario can unfold, some of those storms could pack a bit of a punch. That's why there's technically a low severe threat from, let's say, Howard, what am I thinking of? Fredonia, there we go. Chanute, Uniontown, and points north and west. In general, though, we'll keep an eye on these storms between 11 o'clock tomorrow night and 5 a.m. on your Wednesday morning, mainly for wind gusts and large hail. Then we'll have to deal with the backside of the system that will keep rain chances around for the rest of Wednesday and into Thursday. And with the system, it will bring a little cool down our way as well. 76 tomorrow, 68 and dropping Wednesday, mid-60s Thursday. Then at least we're quiet Friday with highs around 75. Then I'll watch for additional rain chances down Saturday morning, Sunday evening, and into Monday.
76, it'll be warm tomorrow.
Yeah, it's hard to come by warm temperatures for April, but still feels very nice.
You bet. Thanks, Nick. Still ahead, the Bill O'Dell baseball tournament gets underway in Carthage. And the Webb City Cardinals look to improve to 10-1 as they take on McDonald County. Jacob Leonard has the highlights in sports.
Today is the opening day of the Bill O'Dell baseball tournament in Carthage. First up on the schedule, we have a pair of teams out of the COC. It's Carl Junction taking on Neosho in the tournament opener. CJ 6-2 so far this season. Tie game in the first, Dylan Eck all the way to the wall and left. That scores Drew Byer and Alex Baker. Carl Junction leads 3-1 after one. To the third inning now. It was a big one for Neosho. Wyatt Kepler over everybody in left, scores Reese Miller. Wildcats get 4 in the third to go up 6-3. The bottom of the fourth, CJ with a big-time answer. Noah Southern up. Drilled this one, man. Over the wall in left. Bulldogs back in front 7-6. Now they're back down one in the sixth inning. Second and third for Alex Baker. He delivers a 2-run single to left. Now Baker actually going to be tagged out trying to get to second, but he'll take it, man. Baker gets the go-ahead game winner. Carl Junction beats Neosho 10-9.
I had a lot of big at-bats by a lot of guys, and Alex there had a really good approach in the box and did a nice job staying on a fastball, and happy for him. He's a high-character kid, and so anytime, you know, we got guys that play the game the right way, anytime things go their way, you're happy for them.
After that one, it's Mount Vernon and Nevada on the field. Nevada goes on to win this one 6-4. Now the Tigers face Neosho tomorrow, while Mount Vernon aims to bounce back against Carl Junction. The Webb City Cardinals are 9-1 to begin the baseball season. Now, since their one loss back on April 1st, the Cards bounced back to win 4 in a row, scoring at least 13 runs in all 4 of those. The Webb City at home this afternoon, trying to stay hot against McDonald County. Now, they really wasted no time today. Tragan Parker drills it to center all the way to the fence. Devin Weathers trots in. Parker into third for the triple. Cards on the board first. Next batter, Matt Woodmansee slices it the opposite way into the left field corner. Parker's in. Woodmansee, easy double. And moments later, Shane Knoll brings Woodmansee in. Line drive base hit to center. That makes it 3-0. They would get one more. Cole Gaiman through the left side. Knoll hustles around to score. Webb City gets 4 in the first. Cardinals get to 10-1, beating McDonald County 12-2. The Kansas City Royals are off to a good start this season. The Royals took 2 out of 3 from the Texas Rangers over the weekend to open the season. And today, Kansas City on the road for the first time. The series opener against Cleveland. Whit Merrifield, big swing here. 2-run shot for the Royals. Makes it 2-0 Kansas City. Now 2 runs today. More than enough for that dude right there, Danny Duffy. Duffy gets Roberto Perez. Then Cesar Hernandez down swinging. Finally, Jose Ramirez can have a seat too. 6 shutout innings for Duffy. Only allows 2 hits. How about some defense here? 9th inning, Carlos Santana over there at first. Makes the nice stop, able to start the 3-6-1 double play. Kansas City now 3-1. Royals top Cleveland 3-0. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Private First Class Paul Walters. Parsons, Kansas native, served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Private First Class Paul Walters. He's tonight's 4th state hero. Boy, an unusual rescue for a Colorado fire station last week. Firefighters were called to a Colorado Springs State Park to help a pair of great horned owlets get back into a tree, and the task, not as easy as you might think. Since the owlets can't fly yet, firefighters used their fire truck's ladder to lift themselves up to put those little ones back in their nest. The mother owl flew away from the nest when humans arrived, but she was close by, keeping an eye on the rescue. The owlets are about 2 weeks old. For now, they are safe and sound, all thanks to some hopeful firefighters. Owls, well, that ends well.
It is.
Nick Kelly, the weather looking warm, possibly wet in the coming days.
Yeah, definitely warm again tomorrow with highs back near 76. I think we're dry for much of the day, but I'm going to hold off on the better rain chances and storm chances too tomorrow night, Wednesday, and into Thursday.
Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.